Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Algorand's price chart and see what might be next in like very short term. And I do think we are actually quite close to the end of our move down. But before we get into all that, we are going to talk about a very important announcement that Algorand made a couple of days ago. And in case you missed it, you should know that they are now officially a partner for Google Cloud's Agent Payment Protocol, also known as AP2. Now, before we get way too excited, let's just break this down real quick and see what this actually means in simple terms. You see, AP2 is basically a new system that Google Cloud built for enterprise clients, meaning big companies that use Google's infrastructure, and it is designed to help these companies send and also receive payments between each other securely and very much automatically. Now, in case you are confused, well, so do I. Let me give you a couple of examples. Think of, for instance, a telecom company paying a streaming service for content, or maybe a gaming platform paying a developer their share of revenue. But all of this is going to happen through automated smart systems, not manual transfers. And this, my friends, is where Algorand comes in, because it's not that Google actually itself is using Algorand to pay its own bills or salaries. Absolutely not. The key here is that Algorand has been integrated as a settlement layer inside this protocol. And in other words, when a business that is using AP2 wants to move money, they can choose Algorand as the blockchain network that actually settles the transaction. Okay, it's very important to understand that. So I guess the question is, well, okay, why Algorand? Well, there are a couple of very important reasons for it. And Google Cloud's technical team actually looked at a lot of other options, and they did end up with Algorand because of these three very important reasons. Number one, instant finality. Number two, very low fees. And number three, security, since the blockchain has a very solid track record and it is designed for stability without forks. So in my view, this announcement and partnership is absolutely huge and bullish for Algorand, because this isn't actually about marketing. No, this is literally a technical integration, and Algorand is being built into Google's own enterprise products, which is a huge deal. And also it means that Google's institutional clients, think of thousands of businesses worldwide, will now have a direct path to using Algorand without needing to know anything about crypto wallets, private keys, or even DeFi platforms. It is all going to happen simply behind the scenes. And all of this is powered by Algorand's tech, and that is where things get kind of interesting, because companies that are going to use AP2 will generate actual on-chain activity and consume Algorand tokens for the network fees, and this is going to create real demand, not just some speculation. And the good thing about it is you can literally go on Algorand's dashboard, let's say in about a month or two from now, and check out their transactions and see, are we actually having an increase in the amount of transactions or not? If we are having it, great, the partnership is working. If not, okay, I guess we have to talk about that. And also, by the way, I forgot to tell you this, on top of all this stuff, let's be honest, Google Cloud has chosen Algorand between couple of other blockchains, and they absolutely checked out other options. Okay, it's very important to understand that. So the fact that they went with ALGO, in my view, definitely says a lot about how confident they are in its reliability and performance. Now, if you look at the bigger picture, okay, this might be, in my view, the start of something much larger, and I'm not going to be overwhelmingly bullish, so let's just say this. Once a tech like Algorand gets integrated into a massive system like Google Cloud, okay, it is going to become way easier for other services or partners in that specific ecosystem to start using it too. And it's going to be basically a foot in the door situation moment for Algorand that could scale quite fast. But again, it really depends on Algorand and how smart they are in attracting adoption. So in short, and as my final conclusion here, this partnership, in my view, brings Algorand a bit closer to becoming one of the go-to blockchains for institutional payments and enterprise finance, and it does actually give them quite a bit of credibility, exposure, and a massive on-ramp for real adoption. And I'll be honest with you, we really could use some of the credibility right now, because again, I was really disappointed when TravelX canceled their partnership with ALGO. So the fact that we are seeing now a new partnership with a massive company like Google Cloud definitely adds some credibility to Algorand and how solid the foundation actually is. So in my view, overall, this is definitely a bullish setup in terms of fundamentals. And the question is, what is going on in technical analysis and in short term specifically? Because the price, at least right now, doesn't necessarily reflect what is going on in terms of fundamentals. I would say not only in Algorand, but probably in the whole crypto market, since we have been in a beautiful downtrend in the last couple of months. Now, if you remember, the last time that we talked about Algo, we were right in here, and I think we were actually on Coinbase's chart. I swear to God, I had some waves drawn. Okay, there we go. So the last time that we talked about Algo, we were right in here, and the idea was that this is actually a ranging pattern, which most likely is going to break to the upside. And odds are the first target for it is going to be somewhere around, I think I said the 21.6 cents area, and we may end up going a bit higher than that, but then we want to see a move on the downside. Now, as you can see, thankfully we got our move up. And why do I say thankfully we got our move up? Because let's go around here. You see, if you want to argue in terms of Elios waves, we have hit our final low around this area. Maybe this is like a very important support. Then okay, naturally off of the lowest low, you have to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. This specific structure is called an impulsive movement. Rules for us are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave or wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And when it comes to the sub waves, I think you know what I'm about to say. We have to have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5, and for our wave 2 and 4, we can consider different scenarios. Let's say, sure, WXY into wave 2 and an ABC structure into wave 4. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is going on. This was actually the very reason for why I wanted to see in Algorand another move up. So I'm going to be able to say, look, from the lows, we are having a 1, 2, 3, 4, and another move up into wave 5 to about here. So the fact that I think we do have a decent impulse off of the lowest low can be a very much optimistic sign, suggesting the bottom is in. However, this is not going to be the end of the story. No, after completing a 5 wave, if we are truly bullish and optimistic, we want to see a slow move down, hopefully in form of a correction structure. And in terms of what is happening in here, I think we can consider having an ABC zigzag, and in terms of the sub waves, you know it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a correction for wave B. Let's say ABC, doesn't really matter. And then another 5 wave down into our C leg. And if I just go on the live chart, okay, so I think you can consider two different counts in here for our ABC. Scenario number 1 suggests that we are having from this point a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. Also, this initial phase, if you go on some lower time frames, you realize that is actually in form of an impulse down, and between them we may have either an ABC or no, actually preferably a WXY in form of a double zigzag. So according to this count, technically you are allowed to consider having an ABC to about the lows, meaning what? Yup, the bottom is in, and now it's time for a massive bounce back. Scenario number 2, on the other hand, suggests that we are having 5 wave down in here, correction up, but this specific 5 wave in terms of details is actually going to be a little bit different, and maybe we are having 1, 2, and to about here or wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5, and this thing is going to be on a higher degree into a wave 3, and this is actually a correction for 4 followed by another move down into wave 5. So one scenario suggests the low is in, the other one suggests we are going to at least have like one more move down in order to take this low, but hopefully that will be it, the low of our ABC zigzag. And I guess the question is, which scenario is in play? You see, at the moment I really cannot tell you anything for sure, and by the way, this video is going out in about, let's say, 10 hours from now, so maybe by the time that you are seeing this video, you are going to witness a very strong move on the upside, which can definitely be an optimistic sign. And preferably, if you want to argue that the bottom is in, you actually want to see from here like a 1 2 and then good move up into wave 3 4 5. I would say in order to at least take this important high for the first target, about, let's say, generally the 20 cents area. At that point, you can say, okay, you know what, yep, we have probably completed a 5 wave in here, and this is an ABC, and on a higher degree, if we are lucky, this might be a fantastic bullish setup, since you are able to say this is 5 wave up, maybe into a wave 1, correction for 2, and what's next? You know the story, huge move up into wave 3 4 5, and this, my friends, is a very important reason for why I also said that in the previous update. I am kind of a fan of having a V-shaped recovery in here, and I don't really believe that we are going to waste a whole lot of time hanging around these areas. I do think if you close Algorand, or for that matter any other altcoin and also Bitcoin short, and come back in about, let's say, 10 to 15 days from now, you are going to see a full recovery, and we are going to be hopefully in case of Algorand right about these highs once again, about, let's say, 23-24 cents area. And as long as I'm not proven otherwise, I am going to stick with this bullish thesis. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.